A renewed cry to lock her up coming from President Trump, pointing out a double standard in the government's treatment of Hillary Clinton for her reckless handling of classified materials. While others have paid dearly for what they say are similar, even lesser offenses, the president recently tweeting, "Crooked Hillary Clinton's top aide, Huma Abedin, has been accused of disregarding basic security protocols. She put classified passwords into the hands of foreign agents. Remember sailors' pictures on submarine? Jail. Deep State Justice Department must finally act." Also on Comey and others. Joining me now, a Fox News exclusive, the sailor the president was referring to, former Navy machinist Christian Saucier. All right, so Christian, you took some photographs of a submarine and then just threw them out, and they were deemed, I believe, confidential, which is the lowest level of classification. Yet, you were prosecuted and ended up going to prison. How do you feel about Hillary not?
Well, I think it's a blatant proof of the double standard of justice within this country and how the FBI and the Department of Justice were weaponized under the Obama administration to go after conservatives like myself and General Flynn while letting, unpatriotic liberals like Hillary Clinton and her aides skate. And it's just very upsetting. I think it should be upsetting for all American people that we're held to a different standard than crooked politicians.
Okay, so you are actually not in a studio right now because your parole or probation officer says you can't go to a studio. You're wearing an ankle bracelet. That's how serious they're taking this. Yet Hillary Clinton, I think, had top secret classification on her materials. Yet Comey came out and said that no reasonable prosecutor would bring a case, but they brought a case against you. How do you feel about that?
It's very true. I watched all those speeches that Comey gave, and it was while I was through my legal battles. And I said, well, I know a prosecutor that would bring a charge against somebody for far lesser. Mine was confidential. There was never any argument that I had nefarious intent or that I had intent to cause national harm. That's not a requirement for the law that they prosecuted me under. So it's not the requirement for Hillary. Gross negligence is enough to break that law. I basically possessed classified images on an unsecured device, my cell phone, and that was breaking the law by unlawful retention of national defense information, which is exactly what Hillary Clinton did on a much larger scale with much more secure information, and nothing happened to her.
All right, so when you hear reports about these text messages going on between FBI agents and the memo that we're seeing come out that shows that Department of Justice officials, FBI officials had worked to let Hillary skate while at the same time going very hard against Donald Trump and using lies to justify that investigation. What do you think as a guy that's just a machinist working on a submarine? How does that make you feel?
Well, I think it's very upsetting that somebody like myself who served, 2 deployments to the Middle East, who proudly gave 11 years of their life in service to this country, to have their life destroyed for something so minor, while Hillary Clinton clearly broke the law. That was what the law was written to prosecute people under, was for people like her, not for people like me. And lied to the FBI, lied to the American people, and absolutely nothing's happening to her. General Flynn made a mistake, and his life was destroyed as well. And he's a patriotic American who served our country. What has Hillary Clinton ever done but, steal from the American people and lie to us? But she's given the benefit of the doubt because Andrew McCabe's wife, is a friend of hers and took money from her. It's very upsetting the more I read about it and the more I see. While I was through mine, and I saw the tarmac meeting between the head of the Department of Justice and target of investigation's spouse. That should have said all the American people. It's very upsetting the way that justice is doled out in this country.
Right. Well, if you do the crime, you got to do the time. It's just there's a double standard for justice in this country. And perhaps the president will commute your sentence or give you some sort of pardon situation. And he watches Water's World, so, that could be an opportunity to make things right. But, Christian, thank you very much for your service, and hopefully everything works out in your favor in the long run, all right?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me on.